Okay, so we continue our discussion in the operations or the modulus of complex number. Okay, so let's have example number 2. If z sub 1 is equal to 2 minus 3i and z sub 2 is equal to 2 plus I, z sub 3 is equal to 3 minus I, find 1 over z sub 1 in letter A. So 1 over z sub 1 is equal to 1 over z sub 1 is 2 minus 3i. Okay, so division na to ng complex numbers. So we need to multiply the complex conjugate of the denominator, that is 2 plus 3i over 2 plus 3i, and we can simplify. So this is equal to 2 plus 3i, identity rule, and then FOIL method, we have 2 squared minus 3i quantity squared. Okay, so simplifying further, this will be equal to 2 plus 3i over 4 minus 9i squared, and I squared is equal to negative 1. So our final answer will be 2 plus 3i over 4 negative 9 times negative 1, that is positive 9. And then simplifying further, we have 2 plus 3i over 13. So this is our final answer for example number 2, letter A. Let's try letter B. Find z sub 1 times z sub 2 bar over z sub 3. So yung z sub 2 natin is the complex conjugate of z sub 2. So this will be equal to 2 minus 3i times the complex conjugate of our z sub 2, that is 2 minus I, over 3 minus I. So, first, i-simplify muna natin yung numerator natin. So, this will be equal to 4 minus 2i minus 6i, and then positive 3i squared. But we all know that I squared is equal to negative 1. Okay, kopyahin natin si denominator. And then simplify, this will be equal to 4 minus 3. Kasi 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So 4 minus 3, that is 1. And then negative 2i minus 6i, that is negative 8i over 3 minus I. And from there, sa division of complex numbers, we need to multiply the complex conjugate of our denominator, and that is 3 plus I. And then we simplify, dito na lang. This is FOIL method, this is 3. And then 1 times I, that is positive I. And then negative 24I. And then negative 8i squared. 8i squared is equal to negative 1. Tapos, this will be 3 squared minus I squared. Okay, tama? And this is negative 1. So, this will be equal to 3. Negative, negative, that will be positive. So, 3 plus 8, that is 11. And then, I minus 24i, that is negative 23i over 3 plus 3 squared plus 1, that is 10. So this is our final answer for example letter B. Okay. So let's try letter C. 1 over z sub 2 plus 1 over z sub 3 quantity squared. So una is this one, 1 over z sub 2, 1 over z sub 2. Okay, so this is equal to wait lang. Okay, so this will be equal to 1 over z sub 2 is 2 plus I. And then multiply natin si complex conjugate, that will be equal to 2 minus I over 2 squared minus I squared. And I squared is equal to negative 1. So this is 2 minus I over 2 squared is 4 plus 1, that is 5. Tama? And then at 1 over z sub 3. So this will be equal to 1 over 3 minus I times 3 plus I over 3 plus I. So this will be equal to 3 plus I over 3 squared minus I squared, and I squared is equal to negative 1, sorry. So 3 plus I over 9 plus 1, that is 10. So ngayon, pagsamahin na natin and then i-square natin siya. I-add na natin to. So this is equal to 2 minus I over 5 plus 3 plus I over 10 quantity squared. So this will be equal to kunin natin yung LCD, and that will be 10. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Idiretso ko na. This will be 4 minus 2I and then plus 3 plus I. Quantity squared. So simplifying further, we have 7 kasi 4 plus 3 and then minus I over 10 quantity squared. Okay. So this can be rewritten as 7 minus I squared over 10 squared. And this will be equal to 7 minus I squared is 7, no. That is 49 minus 14I plus I squared over 100. Okay. So I squared is equal to negative 1. So our final answer is equal to 49 minus 1, that is 48, minus 14I over 100. So this is our final answer for example letter C in number 2. Okay, so let's try example. Okay, the next example, we have 1 over z sub 1, z sub 2, z sub 3 bar. So, okay, so una muna natin gagawin is to get the product ng mga complex numbers natin dito, and then kunin natin yung complex conjugate niya. Okay, so at z sub 1, z sub 2, z sub 3, this will be equal to 2 minus 3i times 2 plus I times 3 minus I. So, ito muna yung unahin natin, this one. So, this will be equal to 4. And then, that is 2 plus 2I minus 6I minus 3I squared. And I squared is equal to negative 1. So, 4 plus 3, that is 7 plus, 7 minus 4i, and then multiply natin kay 3 minus I. So this will be equal to 21 minus 7i minus 12i plus 4i squared. I squared, negative 1. So 21 minus 4, that is 17. And then negative 7 minus 12, that is negative 19i. So ito ngayon yung product ng ating tatlong complex numbers. And if we get the complex conjugate of this one, this will be 17 plus 19i. Okay? Okay, so from there, pwede na tayong mag-proceed dito sa operation na to. So, we have 1 over 17 plus 19i times 17 minus 19i over 17 minus 19i. So, this will be equal to 17 minus 19i all over 17 squared is equal to 289. Tapos, minus 19 squared is equal to 361 I squared. And I squared is equal to negative 1. So, our final answer would be 17 minus 19I over 289 plus 361. That is 650. Okay, so this is our final answer for example letter D. Okay, so let's try the next example or the last na to na example for modulus of complex numbers. So, separately na lang ulit natin na gawin. So, this will be equal to at 1 over z sub 1. This is 1 over 2 minus 3i times 2 plus 3i over 2 plus 3i. So this is 2 plus 3i over 4, 2 squared, minus 9i squared. And this is negative 1. So this is 2 plus 3i over 4 plus 9, that is 13. This is like an example number 1. Okay? And then, at 1 over z sub 2, this is 1 over 2 plus I times 2 minus I over 2 minus I. This is 2 minus I over 4 minus I squared. And I squared is equal to negative 1. So, our answer will be 2 minus I over 4 plus 1, that is 5. And for 1 over z sub 3, that is 1 over 3 minus I. So, multiply natin with 3 plus I over 3 plus I. And this will be equal to 3 plus I over 9 minus I squared. And I squared is equal to negative 1. So, our answer will be 3 plus I over 10. Okay. So, itong mga ito is i-add natin and then i-square natin. So, this is equal to na lang mas mababa. This will be equal to absolute value pala. Okay. Absolute value of 2 plus 3i over 13 plus 2 minus I over 5 plus 3 plus I over 10. Yan. Quantity squared. Okay, so kunin natin yung least common denominator, yung least common denominator ng mga fractions natin. So, least common denominator is 130. Okay? So, 130 divided by 13, that is 10. And then, i-multiply natin sa numerator. So, 20 plus 30i. And then, plus 130 divided by 5, that is 130 divided by 5 is 26. So, 26 times 2, that is 52 minus 26i. And then, dito naman is 130 divided by 10, that is 13 times 3 is 39 plus 13i. Quantity squared. Okay, so this, mag-simplify na tayo. Combine like terms. Lahat ng real i-add. So, 20 plus 52 plus 39. 20 plus 52 plus 39 is 111. So, 111. And then, 30 minus 26 plus 13. That is positive 17. Plus 17i over 130. Ang laki pala ng yan. 130 quantity squared. So, if we square that, okay, so recall nyo yung, recall the property of modulus na z squared. Okay? So, ito ngayon si z natin and nakapaloob siya sa absolute value sign and then naka-square. So, yung z squared natin, referring to the properties of modulus will be equal to z times z bar. So, ganun yung gagawin natin dito. So, this is 111 plus 17i over 130. I-multiply natin yung complex conjugate nito. So, this will be equal to 111 minus 17i over 130. So, if we try to compute for the final answer, this will be equal to 111 times 2. That is not times 2. 111 times 111. That is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And then, magka-cancel na magiging difference of 2 squares na lang siya. So, 17 squared is equal to 289. And this is negative. And don't forget si I squared. And then, 130 squared is 16,900. This will be negative 1. So, our final answer would be 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 289 times negative 1 is positive. So, plus 289. That is 1, 2, 610 over 16,900. And if we try to simplify that fraction, this will be equal to 97 over 130. So this is our final answer for example number 2, letter E. Okay, so that ends my discussion in modulus of complex numbers.